Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Let's get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit.
Snap out of it, Buzz.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
Taking my life, Usul. It is the only way.
I'm pointing the way!
I've really got to get you out of those clothes
Excuse me?
and into a black dress. Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus?
Welcome back to another episode of Get a Load of This Movie, a franchise movie podcast where we talk about movies that are a part of a franchise. Usually that means 3 movies or more, and we are just like kind of tweaking our rule as we have been all summer long, where we're covering some Steven Spielberg alien movies. We started with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We went to E.T., and now we are making our way to the third installment in the Steven Spielberg Alien trilogy that is going to turn into
Alien Extravaganza.
Alien Extravaganza. It's a trilogy right now, but it's about to turn into an extravaganza on June 17th. Is that right, Cole? Why don't you look that up for me? With Disclosure Day. But today is all about one movie, and that is My Little Pony. That's right. We are talking about My Little Pony, the movie, and we got the biggest pony expert we know, Jake Thompson, to join us on the podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about ponies, and I'm so excited.
It's in the pony division of our government in DC.
Yes.
He handles
little
all
horses. I wrangle the little horses all around this country.
Oh, whoa. Little horses. So woke. No, we are talking about War of the Worlds today. Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds came out in 2005. It is streaming on Paramount Plus, or if you have the connector on Amazon, you can watch it through
Hulu.
there.
It's on Hulu, too.
And you can watch it on Hulu. I just found
Pay
out.
$3.99.
That's great.
See it
Breaking
wherever you
news.
want.
What?
It's 2026. Pay $4. Watch any movie ever made ever.
This guy. I'm sure a piece of that $4 goes
The
straight
government
into his
privilege
paycheck.
here.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it?
Jeff Bezos pays the government.
Your tax dollars buy my movie tickets. Picture that.
That's, of all the places they could go, I'm fine with that, actually.
That would just be okay.
That would just be okay.
That would be grand.
So we know who's joining us today for a special guest appearance, and that's Jake. Thank you for joining us. But who do we have on the council today? My name is Corey.
Hey, what's up? I'm Cole.
And I'm Zach. I want to point out that Jake was I'm sure did you mention already that Jake has actually been on this podcast before, and for those who may remember, he was on Mission Impossible 4 and 5, which had the infamous Cole didn't have time to do summaries thing. So Corey wrote the summary for Ghost Protocol, and it was up to me to write one for Rogue Nation. And that's when we learned that Cole just simply cannot read. And that was there was just no other way to say it. And it was a bit of a tough sit. And we had to literally relegate the summary to the end of the episode because it took so long.
That was pretty incredible.
You dick.
I also know I only come on for Tom Cruise movies.
That
Or you
is
only
true.
have
You're right.
Some Tommy Tom.
Yeah.
Right. We'll get you on for cocktail soon.
Whoa,
Incredible.
what did you say?
When he rains, he pours.
That is a hell of a tagline.
Okay, well, Jake, we've been talking about Steven Spielberg for, it feels like a month and a half now, I think it is, maybe a little bit less than that. So we've kind of gone through some of our favorite Steven Spielberg movies and favorite Steven Spielberg moments, specifically with around aliens. But since we've had the pleasure of talking about other Steven Spielberg movies, especially last summer, and you have not, we want to give you the opportunity to tell us, what is your favorite Steven Spielberg movie? Do you have a favorite Steven Spielberg alien movie, or just a moment in any of his movies that just like, that's my favorite moment right there?
For a moment.
Just anything,
Absolutely.
anything and everything. The question is very open-ended. Take it in whatever direction that you
best
see
Steven
fit.
Spielberg movie, hands down, Big Friendly Giant.
Yeah.
No one
Big
will argue
fucking
that.
giant, BFG.
No. Okay. Favorite Spielberg movie, and I struggle with this because 2 of my favorite movies, both Spielberg movies. My favorite one, Jurassic Park. The entire movie is magical. It is what you go to a movie for, from the characters. It's got the Spielberg charm with the kids. He loves directing children, getting that kind of family aspect, which, oh boy, maybe that'll come back in this movie. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Let's just put that teaser out there. to the monsters, how he handles the horror with the action, a little bits of comedy in between. I mean, it's a mastercraft of film, not to mention the technical aspects of everything going on with it. The guy loves pushing the envelope when it comes to special effects and doing it just really, really well done. So Jurassic Park's up there. It's just like my personal favorite movie, and I think just undisputed a Spielberg masterpiece. Next one, very similar. And like as summertime comes around, I just get a hankering for it. We all know. We all know. Jaws.
The Lost World. Oh, okay.
No, I mean, Jaws is maybe the most perfect movie ever made. I mean,
ooh,
wow, most perfect.
Wow. Jake came with takes.
Maybe the most perfect movie ever made.
It's actually one of the few films where I don't think that's really a hot take to say. That's pretty. No. Yeah, that's actually kind of a fine thing to say.
Why do you hate Madam Web?
It's a great one. It's a great one. Another famous Spielberg.
I get it, but that's fine.
Spielberg's Madam Web. But I think Jaws, the good Spielberg horror film is just everything you want out of a great monster movie, a great horror film. It hits every point. The characters are incredible. And like, that's what makes a great horror movie, is having characters you can root for, really caring about them. And he does a great job making you care about his characters and then putting them in situations where you were just so nervous about how they're going to get out of it. So
yeah,
those
I'm a Chief Brody. Yeah, I'm a Chief Brody lemming for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jake, you brought up like, he's really good at directing kids. On our ET episode, I think that was one of the things we talked about. Is I think he is like the best director for like children in terms of like when you look at the array of different children characters in his movies, and even the movies he produced, like the influence he has on those, like like Goonies or Gremlins. It's just they're all pretty likable. Whereas kid characters in movies can be kind of a a flip of the coin, where if they're annoying or just bad at acting or something. But like usually the kids in his movies are turning pretty good performances, and they're whether that's he's just great at casting them. I'm sure it's all part of it. Like he's great at directing them or getting the performances he needs out of them. But same thing again here with Dakota Fanning, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So it's a very good point there, Jacob.
Yeah, Jake. Sorry, go ahead.
I did want to say, before we get off the Tom Cruise topic, I looked up Cocktail because I did not believe that was an actual movie. And when he pours, he rains is a wild tagline.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's incredible. That's just good marketing. I've heard it's a bad movie. I do want to watch it really bad.
I've heard Hollywood is too scared to make a movie like that today.
I heard that he learned how to make his own gin and tonic. Tom Cruise did for that movie.
I heard he learned how to make his own Busch Light for that movie.
No, I don't think he has ever in his life sipped a Busch Light. I don't think we get Mission Impossible Fallout if he has ever tried a Busch Light. I think his life would have gone a different direction. That's
I think
the fork in the road.
We only get Mission Impossible Fallout if he's had a Busch Light.
You think so?
That's a very
Give me a helicopter. Get this man behind a helicopter.
And a Busch Light.
I could fly the plane. Jake, there was another reason I was really excited to have you on. You have read the War of the Worlds book.
I have,
and I would like to talk about that. There is I want to save the War of the Worlds movie discussion for the actual podcast, but I think this is a good place to talk about maybe a little bit of your opinion of the book itself. And short answer, do you think this was a good adaptation from the book? Because I just finished reading it for the first time. So I read the book, I listened to the radio thing, I watched the original movie, and I watched the Ice Cube movie. So I have a little bit of that.
That's just show prep. That's just called show prep.
Just good research.
I want to run through all of that before we get into the call sheet. So I apologize that this might be a little bit of a longer episode. But I have an interest in it. So Jake, I want you to go first, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great book. I know this is a movie podcast. We're about to get into some literature, but I think it's super interesting if you go back and read old school sci-fi from like before computers were around, before we have any of this modern concepts of technology, and seeing what people, how they write science fiction. And, even the concept of like aliens and flying saucers wasn't fully around at this time when you had War of the Worlds coming out. And I think what a lot of people who have their concepts of or view of War of the Worlds from the movies, they don't realize the book is set in like the 1900s. So it's like World War I style armies and technology up against alien tripods that are like boiling the River Thames with their heat rays. Like it's such a cool dichotomy of like, man, we are just like such ants to these people. And the whole thing then was about like kind of commentary on British imperialism, what they were doing in like Africa and other places. So great book, really cool sci-fi book. Definitely recommend that to everyone. And I think this is a great modern day adaptation of that, as pretty much all of them are. Like this is a fantastic adaptation to kind of put the modern audience into what the same viewpoint that the original readers back when the book released was reading it in.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a great adaptation of it. One thing that the book did that I really liked that I don't think anything else really touched on was the main character meeting these people off to the side and like kind of going through that whole thing of like, oh, what does it mean? Like, how are these other people dealing with this? Because you have like whatever the main character's doing, they're just trying to find their family, be with their family, whatever. But then you get like this crazy guy or these couple of crazy instances. And I think the book does a really good job of fleshing out that story that we do see in the movie. So I will say I am a big fan of the book as well. And I looked this up. It came out in 1898. I thought it came out pretty not too much before the movie came out, the original movie, which came out in 1953. So, but I will say, quick run through of all the properties. Love the book. The radio adaptation of this, it is absolutely insane what they did. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to it. They made it sound like an actual news broadcast where at the very beginning they were like, this is a dramatized version of the War of the World books. And it's like, everyone panic! and they're like screaming, and then like it cuts out and it goes back to like the regular guy behind the desk, and it's like, I'm sorry, we lost contact with our guy in the field. We will resume this news as soon as we have word of what is going on. And it's like, in the meantime, please enjoy this piano riff or something. And then it just starts playing piano, and then it cuts back. And it's like, we have news again. Everyone, like, tune in. We have news again. It is absolutely insane. And so it's like, no wonder people in New Jersey were freaking out at the time, because it's like, I would have freaked out too. So that one was pretty good. Pretty irresponsible if you ask me, but pretty good looking back on it. The OG movie, love the special effects. Story took a little bit of a dip from the book, but I mean, I thought the special effects were really good, especially for the time. And then the 2025 Ice Cube one was disgusting, terrible.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
Poorly thought out, poorly executed. Only reason that is even close to War of the Worlds is because the aliens slightly resemble ones that have been consistent in the story from the start, but nothing else is even close. Nauseatingly time-stamped. That is what I have to say about that one. It is horrible. Don't recommend. Do not see. Delete Amazon Prime. I almost did. That's how bad it was, but I had to watch Spider Noir, so I'm not going to.
Right. There you go.
I did like how Enemy of the Pod Adam commented on your Letterbox post and goes, you watched this while drinking and did not enjoy it? Question mark.
I appreciate
did I say that I was
him
drunk
as
in there?
enemy of the pod.
Oh yeah, he hates this.
He's enemy of the pod.
Oh my gosh. Did I actually say that I was drunk during it?
You did one of your random
You were
tags.
slurring your words in your review.
You said you did your
While
tags
drinking.
Prime, Alone, and Drinking. Those were the three you chose.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was, you know what? I guess they tried something, but I would have wished they would have tried anything else. On that note, on to the call sheet.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. There is only one key to open the device. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate. You better hurry up. Live or die. Make your choice.
Also, invoking Sonny Corleone in the...
Oh, would you like this?
Yeah. That's what Corey and I used to... Anytime someone had a consequence, we would relate it to Sonny Corleone's fate in The Godfather.
Sonny taught us that there are consequences.
No spoilers in The Godfather.
So there's one thing in this movie that stood out to me more than anything else, and that it was Kathleen Kennedy's name that was associated to it at the very end, and she was one of the executive producers. And so it prompted me to... I'm like, you know what? I feel like every single movie I watch these days has Kathleen Kennedy's name, you know? And I was so excited when she was kicked out of Star Wars and Lucasfilm, or not kicked out, but like taken off as president.
I think she resigned.
Whatever.
She retired
whatever.
after a long and fruitful career in Hollywood production.
Made a lot of money.
Guys, give me a second. I realized, you know what?
You hate women so much. You hate women more than Zach hates women.
Okay, maybe I'm not going to talk. It's my section. It's my section. So I get to spout all the hate I want. Okay? No, but I do not hate Kathleen Kennedy because I went back and I was like, why did I associate her with like a bad point in Star Wars, and that like kind of really soured my feelings on her overall. She's attached to Jaws. She's attached to Jurassic Park. She's attached to all these really major movies. And I'm like, these movies are great. Like, why do I? And so I went back and I said, let me see all the movies that Kathleen Kennedy is in. And you know what? She might have a statue in Hollywood one of these days, and I wouldn't be surprised. She is incredible. So I have this call sheet is called Kathleen Kennedy versus the World. I am going to give you guys 3 hits, and you guys are going to have to guess this Kathleen Kennedy movie. Okay? Does that make sense? She was an executive producer on these movies, and so you guys are going to have to guess. I started easy, but then I got a little bit harder, okay? So there's 4 and then a bonus, and the bonus, as we all know, is going to be a number, and it's going to be closest to the pin. So that's what we are looking for. Yes, Cole.
Quick question. 3 hints. Are you doing like 3 points for the if we get it on the first, 2 on the second, 3 on the third? Okay. 3
points, 2 points, 1
on the third.
point.
Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. But the first hint, they're all going to be structured. The first hint is either going to be the genre or the year. The next one's going to be the director, and the one after that's going to be the top 2 actors billed on the project. Okay? Does that make sense?
Let's go.
I have a way of deciding if we're going to do genre or year, and we are going to do whoever won last time we had a call sheet, and then Jake's going to go, and then Zach's going to go, and then back to whoever won last time we did the call sheet, which was, spoiler alert, it was Cole that won. So Cole, you will get to pick the first hint twice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you guys will just text me your answers. On to question number 1. Cole, would you like the genre or the year for this film?
Genre.
We are going to give you the genre. The genre is adventure sci-fi. The genre is adventure sci-fi for this Kathleen Kennedy movie. Again, I'm starting easier and going harder. Waiting for a text from anyone.
From anyone?
Puck's on net. I'm not taking off points, so if you just want to put a puck on the net, then we can move on.
We love shots on goal.
We love shots on goal. Okay, I have an answer from each of you. On to hint number 2. The director is Steven Spielberg. The director of this action or adventure sci-fi movie is Steven Spielberg. Adventure sci-fi Spielberg movie.
He's got a lot of those.
Yeah, he loves those.
The third hint, the top 2 actors billed are Sam Neill and Laura Dern.
I'll stay.
I'm also going to stay.
Okay, on to question number 3, or question number 2, I apologize. Jake, would you like the genre or the year of this next movie?
Let's go genre.
Let's go genre again. This genre is an adventure comedy family. I pulled these from IMDb. This is an adventure comedy family movie. Cole, just waiting on, do you want to put a puck? Okay, moving on.
Got nothing for that?
Hint number 2. Hint number 2. The director is Richard Donner.
I'm God. I'm him. I'll stay. I'll fucking stay.
I got it.
Okay. Hint number 3. The top 2 builds. Sean Astin and Josh Brolin. Top 2 build. On to question number 3. Zach, would you like the genre or would you like the year?
I'd like the year.
The year is 2002 for this movie. We're getting a little bit harder here. 2002 for this movie.
You're telling me. That could be one of these 2 things in my head, boy.
I
don't know if her name was on this one.
We're going to go real shot in the dark here.
I have an answer from everyone. Look at that. Okay. On to hint number 2. The director is M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah! Am I correct in that Corey has not seen this movie?
No hints.
On to hint number 3. The top 2 build. The top 2 build are Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, sorry, Jake.
Gladiator.
Those are Jake's 2 favorite actors.
Okay. On to our last question before I add it all up, see if we won, and then we're going to do the bonus. Cole, it's back to you. Would you like the genre or the year?
Let's go year.
The year for this film is 1988. The year for this Kathleen Kennedy film is 1980.
That's one off of what I thought it would be.
Came out in 1988.
Why don't you Google that, Jake?
No.
I have ChatGPT running, actually, so.
Yeah, that's good. Got to feed the machines.
Man, that's a tough one. All right, this is a shot in the dark.
I don't think this is the right board.
I'm guessing a Joel Brutlog favorite.
Okay. A little tell there, sorry. Director. The director of this 1988 film is Robert Zemeckis, that Kathleen Kennedy produced. I think Cole's got it. He had that look in his eye, I could tell.
88? I don't think any movies came out that year.
No, not one.
They took a year
That
off.
was one of the famous actor strikes.
I think this is the wrong year, but I'm going to put it down in case Corey got his info wrong.
I'm just,
Okay.
I do not know.
Okay. I have an answer from each of you. We're moving on to number 3. The top billed are Bob Hoskins and Christopher Lloyd.
God.
Fun fact, they actually looked at Bob Hoskins to play the original Wolverine.
They also originally looked at Bob Hoskins to play Ray in War of the Worlds. He was originally going to be in the Tom Cruise role.
See, mine's true, though.
He was also up for the decoding Fanning part.
If I'm honest, when you said they looked at him to play Ray, I thought you meant like Star Wars sequels Ray.
I also thought that's what you meant at first.
I was like, that'd be an interesting take on the
Okay,
character.
talk amongst yourselves really quick.
Scrapping around the Star Destroyer and sliding down that little hill.
Yeah.
So we have an incredibly close race. We're going to do the bonus, and then we're going to go through these answers and see what we have. The bonus, as we know, Kathleen Kennedy is still working hard as Mando and Grogu just came out. She is credited as the producer on Mando and Grogu. From her first credit as associate producer, how many years has she been producing movies? So from then to 2026, how many years is that?
Wait, can I change my answer?
I mean, yeah.
No, I just want to know if I had that power.
You can.
I'm not going to.
Well, give me another one. Let's see what you
I can
put.
picture the earliest movie I saw her name on, but there might be another one that she's on that's a smaller one before that. But
Okay, I have an answer from each of you. Jake, do you want to change your answer? I'll give you one chance right now.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'm changing mine. I'm
not changing mine.
I'm bumping
Because
it
I
up.
don't have to. No matter what facts or opinions are put in front of me.
Okay, we have a winner, and we have a winner of the bonus, so we're going to go through it. Question number 1, it was an adventure sci-fi 1993 Spielberg, Sam Neill, and Laura Dern movie, and that was Jurassic Park. You guys all eventually got that. Jake and Zach on hint number 2, Cole on hint number 3. Question number 2, it was an adventure comedy family movie from 1985, Richard Donner, Sean Astin, and Josh Brolin. That was The Goonies. Jake and Zach got that on the first, Cole on the second. That's okay, though. Question number 3, it was a sci-fi thriller from 2002.
The poster's behind Cole.
M. Night Shyamalan and Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. That was Signs. And Zach and Cole got that on the second, Jake on the third.
I went 6
Our
cents
last
first.
one. This
99.
was a whodunit comedy from 1988. Robert Zemeckis, Bob Hoskins, and Christopher Lloyd. Zach got this on the third. Cole got this on the second. And Jake did not get this. This was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Have you seen
Never seen that.
You've never
movie.
seen that one.
It's a fun one.
No, I'm sorry. I only watch movies for adults.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't watch cartoons.
So total. Jake had 6 points. Cole had 7 points, and Zach with the mighty 8 points. This was a very close race. And then going on to the bonus, Kathleen Kennedy has been working in this field for a long time, up until Mando and Grogu, which came out this year. But how long has she been in the industry? I did the math. You guys played the game. Her first movie, Zach, did you have a guess what her first movie was?
The earliest one I remember seeing her name is Raiders of the Lost Ark. So I put 1 year or a year or two on top of that and just called it 47 years ago. She started.
So the first movie she is credited as an associate producer or higher, which I said associate producer on, was Poltergeist in 19 82, which brings our total to 44, making Jake the winner of the bonus, but a loser overall.
Let's go. I'll take
On
that.
to the action.
Even the opening scene, there's always some random girl who gets a call that undoubtedly ends up getting her killed. It's also predictable. There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming. Ah!
Did that surprise you?
Why?
Because you talk too much. Now shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
That's great. That's good fun.
Great fun.
Zach, you're creeping up, but Cole, it's okay. You are not too far. You still hold the lead.
Do you know that song, Jake? The Alan Jackson, Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning?
Yes.
His 9/11 song.
I know why you were looking
That's
at
why I
this
was looking
lyrics.
it up. I was looking at the lyrics for research here for show prep.
Yeah, research.
Are you going to edit your review?
I was workshopping. I was workshopping.
Last
I like
Friday.
how Corey's show prep was watching every single War of the Worlds and reading the book, and yours was listening to a 9/11 song
On the podcast, as
on
we're
the
recording.
podcast.
Where were you when they built the ladder to heaven, Jake?
That was more of prepping during the show instead of prepping for the shows. But Cole,
I'm watching the movie right now, by the way.
Cole, yeah, we'll start from the
commentary.
beginning.
Yeah.
Cole, obviously Zach did not watch this movie, so why don't you tell him what happened during it?
It would have been great if you added to your bit as usual. I didn't actually watch the movie.
I was trying to think of a fun twist on it. That was my fun
Yeah.
twist.
The fun
A
twist is we
narrator.
could watch it.
A narrator who that sounded like off-brand Morgan Freeman. I had to look it up. That was actually Morgan Freeman. It didn't
is Steven
sound
Spielberg.
like
Yeah,
it
I
didn't
was gonna say-
sound like him. That was
He
his
gets no
thing.
respect.
It
He
was
gets
kind
top
of
billing.
It was throwing me off. Yeah,
Say
him,
it. We have a Morgan Freeman. Say it again.
Tom Cruise,
We have a Morgan
Jeremy Allen White, Gotta have that Jeremy Allen White billing. Anyway, a narrator explains that highly intelligent extraterrestrials have become jealous of humanity's control of Earth and plan an invasion. Ray Ferrier, played by the handsome Tom Cruise, an irresponsible dock worker, estranged from his children, Robbie and Rachel, is forced to care for them while his ex-wife travels to Boston. Fuck the Red Sox. Strange.
That was oddly on sync.
Boston crowd is not going to like that one.
Yeah, we're big.
Yes,
Boston Bucks.
our large Boston audience. Yes,
Jake is a Red Sox fan.
Yeah.
that's not true. Strange lightning storms trigger an EMP that disables electronics, and giant alien tripods emerge from underground, destroying people with powerful energy weapons. Ray escapes with his children in a repaired minivan, but widespread attacks force them to abandon their vehicle and flee towards Boston. News reporters reveal that the tripods are attacking cities worldwide, protected by force fields, and that the aliens arrived through the lightning storms to enter their machines buried on Earth long ago. Buried, whatever.
Is it
their
Jake?
journey.
Does Jake make you nervous?
Jake makes me so nervous.
Cole,
He makes me so nervous.
I tell you you're doing great, but that'd be a lie.
Big government makes me nervous. Big government makes me nervous. During their journey, the family survives a ferry disaster caused by alien attacks and witnesses the military's unsuccessful attempts to stop the tripods. Robbie leaves to join the fight against the aliens and is presumed dead after a devastating battle, while Ray and Rachel find shelter with Harlan Ogilvy. Hiding in a basement, they discover the aliens are spreading red vegetation across Earth and harvesting humans for blood and tissue. Gross. When Harlan becomes unstable, Ray kills him to prevent their discovery. Rachel is captured by a tripod, and Ray allows himself to be abducted so he can rescue her. Using grenades from inside the machine, he destroys the tripod and escapes with her. In Boston, the aliens suddenly weaken as Earth's microbes and viruses affect them. Lame. Their shields fail. Humanity destroys the remaining tripods, and Ray reunites with his ex-wife and the surprisingly alive Robbie.
Now, Cole,
Let's get-
these
How dare
are
you.
supposed to be objective
How dare
tellings. And you snuck a little take in there. You snuck a
That
little
was-
take in there at the end.
When
I
no
do
one-
that
when no one
every
can-
time.
When no
I do
one can
that
say
every
anything about
time.
it. No one can.
I do it every time.
Hated that take. I hated that take.
Do it every time.
So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about with this movie. We could talk about Ray. We could talk about it as a whole being a disaster movie. We can walk through like how it starts and all that stuff. Jake, do you have a place where you would prefer the conversation to start off? We have a few
draws you to
different
this film,
avenues.
Jake?
Yeah, we have a few
All right,
different
yeah.
avenues we can go down.
Well, let me jump right in here. Although the movie's about aliens, you know what draws me into this? The humans and how human the humans are.
Yeah.
The scene that
Hear
like
that,
jumps
Cole?
out to me that is just so good is when they're driving the car through the crowd of people.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Steven
And
went
then-
God mode on that scene. That
That-
scene is so good.
That scene is so tense. It's so human. Every single character, the extras, the Ray and his kids, they're all acting perfectly. It's such a claustrophobic scene. It's so real. Like you can easily picture something like that happens. You know, things like that have happened before in disasters. And then all leading up to when the people are breaking, when they're all slamming down the hood of the car and stopping it and they drag Ray
the
out.
hands.
The hands. And then when you're scared that when the car gets taken from Ray and you're scared that his daughter's going to be left and taken from him that way, like and he's just, give me my daughter back. You can take the car. It's so human. And Steven Spielberg just went God mode.
Totally.
I love the guy who's like, yeah, take your daughter. Take your daughter. It's like it's the epitome of like, we will not let like what's happening make us monsters. And this guy's like, no, take your daughter. I just want the car. I just want the car.
Well, it's a grounded version of like, you know, the crime that would be going on in a situation like this. It's not like, oh, this guy turns into a mustache twirling villain because aliens attacked. It's just like, but it is ruthless out there. You know, it's every man for himself. That doesn't mean he's going to kidnap a little girl, but he's going to take the car from, you know, the little girl, you know. So yeah,
She
you're
doesn't
right, Jake. It is a
need the
very
car.
grounded look. She doesn't need the car. She can't even drive yet.
She's
She
got
can't
two
even
legs.
drive. She
Yeah,
can't
that
even
scene.
drive.
Yeah, when them coming in through all the windows and that guy peeling the glass of the windshield, it's almost like a 28 Days Later looking sequence there.
I immediately thought of the quote from the beginning of Mad Max Fury Road where he's like going on about how the world is ending and it ends like this big speech where Max just goes, we boiled down to one basic instinct, survive. And that's what these people are trying to do.
And you know what? That gets into the overall theme of the movie where it's just life persists and life survives. And, you know, sometimes that's through fighting and peeling back windshields. And other times that's just through going through evolution on this planet and being able to build up an immunity to the bacteria that is on this planet, you know, and maybe that's what it is. But we can get to that later.
But
I
you're
do,
there
like-
now. You might as well.
No.
You're
I want
there.
to talk. No, that's more towards the end. I just wanted to get a jab in at Cole. But I do want to on that. It is very human, and I think those are the best parts when we see those very close up. Like it's very massive what's going on around them, but we see a very zoomed in version of that. You could feel the scale, but also feel the intimacy of the scene and like the urgency that the characters are feeling, which I really appreciate. And even when it's just Ray, Rachel, and Robbie, when it's just them three in that shack, it's like, oh my god, like that scene, like that part is so good. I wish they would have. Never mind. I'm gonna walk that take back. I was gonna say I wish they would have done a little bit more with that, but I think that what they showed with that really resonated, and it turned this from like a monster movie into seeing like it had the monster movie aspects, but also like just a plain like, how do you react as a human, and like almost a zoomed in version of like, okay, this is the human experience of how they would react and how what they would do. I will say, I don't know if I noticed too much of like the Spielbergness to this movie. I'm not saying it's bad. I love this movie. Spoiler alert for review section. But I don't know if those things that like in Close Encounters and E.T., like, I mean, Steven Spielberg didn't direct Back to the Future, but like even the influence that he did have it, you can tell it. You can feel those like moments, the adventureness of it all, the tone, it comes through. And this one, it is so different than anything else that he has, that at least we've talked about for sure.
I don't know. Actually, because I do think you can see, like, the first thing that pops into my head on a small level is what we've talked about. We talked about with Jurassic Park and Jaws and even brought it up in Close Encounters with that scene where the son gets taken by the aliens early on in that movie. He is also, Spielberg gets the most attention for, like, oh, that heart that Spielberg films have, and the heart really can shine through because he can also do terror really well, which we talked about a lot with Jaws, and
I feel like Close Encounters in the abduction scene.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like in Jaws, and then in Jurassic Park. Yeah, of course. And like, so like, like the biggest parallel scene, like 1-to-1 to me is like, and I do think the Jurassic Park version is better, but the raptor scene in Jurassic Park is, I think you see it a little bit in them sneaking around the basement with that like eye thing looking for them in Tim Robbins' basement. I think I can see that's the same guy making that movie. And I mean, he nails, this is like, okay, so he nails like terror in a big public setting here 100%. In a way that I think you see him do at the end of Lost World, not quite as well, but I think that's just a script issue at that point. It's getting a little goofy at the end of Lost World. But like the pond scene in Jaws,
gymnastics.
That's a big, see, Cole, that's just like, that's a more intimate terror moment because they're just like kind of trying to escape a couple raptors and it's only a few characters. I'm talking about big set with a lot of extras running around and explosions or whatever, no explosions in Jaws, but again, just a lot of people.
Well,
panicking.
One explosion.
Yeah, right. At the end of the movie. Yeah. But I think what I really think about like is in terms of the big crowd panic moments, what Spielberg moment I'm thinking of is D-Day in Saving Private Ryan in terms of like, and I found a quote where Spielberg, this is a direct quote from some article where Spielberg was talking about shooting War of the Worlds and, post Private Ryan. And he goes, Spielberg explained the idea further during a press day while the production was shooting on location in California. On Saving Private Ryan, he's talking about, I wanted to get deeper into what combat was really like from the soldier's perspective based on all of the things I'd heard and read about from the veterans of World War II. I wanted to put the audience into that mindset. For this film, I wondered whether I could bring some of the tools we use on Private Ryan to tell a realistic story about an intergalactic invasion on planet Earth. And that, I think of just the hysteria, the running around, like you don't get lost in the chaos here. You can track the character you're watching even amidst all this destruction and death and stuff. So I think he's excellent at blocking these big set pieces still. So it's not like the Spielberg heart stuff that comes through, maybe the quieter moments in Jurassic Park. It's because this family dynamic is really kind of broken, which is also kind of a through line with Close Encounters and E.T. It's just a different tone for it. But I do see the Spielbergness in this movie. Long story short, is what I was saying.
I would agree with Zach in that I see the Spielbergness in, yes, those quieter moments, but also in those action sequences, like when they're driving away, and the way it's directed is so funny because Dakota Fanning's in the back. She's screaming, I want my mom. I want my mom. I want my mom. And Ray is just hilarious. Like trying to like talk over it. He's like, we're going this way and then we're going to go this way. And she's losing it. But we keep the camera inside the car. And all the stuff is going on around them rather than focusing on the big stuff, which I feel like a director just comes to mind. Michael Bay. Mm-hmm. Michael Bay is going to have the voiceover going on, and we're not seeing these characters while, there's 500 different explosions going on around them because that's what he does. But Spielberg, it's about the characters, so we focus on the characters.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's a human story around this kind of generic plot, which I feel like that is where the genericness comes from for me.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so but the Spielbergness shines through because we are just, like he was saying, we're focusing on real people, whereas like if in other alien movies we might have like, maybe we have one regular dude character, but then he'll get mixed up because maybe he's a scientist or something, he's a geologist and there's special rocks with aliens or something, he'll get recruited to the government, and then like he's with government people and military people, and those are like the big group of characters we're following for the alien movie. We're just with the three members of this family of this,
good dock worker Ray.
Yeah,
just a man of the people.
Longshoreman.
Did you know that he learned how to lift
was he?
shipping containers?
Dude, I was going to ask if he was actually using that machine. That was one of my
And I'll tell you what, if this was a Michael Bay movie, I guarantee you we would start with him like that, and then later in the movie there would be a scene where he's
100%.
like, "This is like just
let me take
what I
down
have to
these
do."
aliens.
Yeah.
The only way
like
I know
Bruce
how.
Willis on
Dude, you just know Ray loves some divorced dad rock. You know he blasts Creed all the time.
I love how we enter his house after he's late to meet his own ex-wife
8:30?
in his Mustang that he is clearly speeding through this small town.
Yeah, what the hell is that? He just like ran a red light through that intersection and drifted.
The cops know Ray. He is a known entity.
No, Ray. Ray goes to the bar and Ray looks at everybody and he goes, "I'm going to be a problem tonight, guys."
Well, you
Peak
know
set
he
design for
frequents
Ray's
the local
house.
watering holes and he cleans up.
Ray's refrigerator is peak set design.
It does get to one of my questions on like
this much milk in the calf container. Probably expired.
It does go into like a question I had about Ray, where he's pretty unlikable at the very beginning because you see like all the negative. He's just like enjoying life. He's like, I don't need to do all the like whatever. He's just kind of rolling by whatever he needs to do, kind of blowing with the wind, you know, taking punches as they come. He's not worried about it.
He blows his boss off.
Yeah,
he's the start of the
too
movie.
cool. He's
cool. I need you to come in tomorrow. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna."
Employee of the month.
Yeah, for a raise there.
Insane behavior.
And he only
insane phrasing.
Yeah, I need you to come in. But he's very unlikable, and he's also like it seems like he's very immature. And I think like the only like I don't know if the likability changes throughout the movie for him, but I think the maturity level definitely raises. And that's why you like throughout the movie, I don't know, even at the very beginning though, I still feel and this could be because I've seen the movie before. So there might be a caveat, grain of salt to take this take with. But even at the beginning of the movie, I feel like I'm still rooting for him. Maybe that's because it's just
also
him.
It's also Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
there is that, but
heavy
like
lifting here.
Yeah.
But him launching the baseball right at his son's head and his son just like dodging it, or him just like his daughter,
he dropped the glove. He dropped the glove.
But and also his daughter saying like, I want to go inside when there's lightning, and he's just laughing like, it's fine. Isn't this fun? And she's like, no, I want to go inside, and he's just like giggling, you know. And but I feel like at the very beginning, even though he may not know or may not do it the correct way, I think he still wants to be a likable guy, you know, at least to his kids, but he just doesn't know how, and he just has built this whole persona of himself. And so I think that might come through just a little bit at the very beginning, but I think that also might be doing some heavy lifting from the end and just the rewatching of this movie. But definitely by the end, you can feel the maturity level has gotten there. You know, when he sees his son, he's just like, he's not making a snarky comment like he did or anything like that. He just embraced. He's like, oh my gosh, you're still alive, you know. And it's not anything. He's not saying like, oh, whatever her mom's name is, his ex-wife's mom. He's not like waving to her and like, hi. What did you say? Awa?
I said Aowen, but actually I'm trying to remember now. Is that who she is? In
I think it was
Rings?
Awa.
Yeah,
no, Awa is Avatar. Awa is
it's
Avatar.
It was Awa.
It's Aowen. Isn't Aowen?
Yeah.
But it's her name in Lord of the Rings.
Tyler.
But like he's not making those comments, so you could see that maturity level develop throughout the entire movie. But do you guys think his likability has changed, or do you think that's kind of stayed consistent?
Well, I think it goes up, and you talk about at the beginning of the movie, like he's set up to be unlikable, but there's also that moment he has with his ex-wife when she's like leaving, and he looks at her and he's like
trying to be genuine.
Well, yeah, they have this like really sweet moment where he's like, you look great. This suits you. And she's pregnant. And it's like him saying like, I'm happy for you. So there's no love. There's no love lost between the two, which I think is very interesting. It's like, I just probably couldn't trust you to raise my children, which I wouldn't trust this guy either.
Even at the end of the movie.
No, honestly, he let Robbie go.
Yeah. Well, just because you can survive for like a week, just because you can survive a week of an alien invasion doesn't mean you're going to realize that you need to have good milk in the fridge when your kids come over.
Yeah.
But
the skills are
unrelated skills.
They
But
are
yeah,
transferable,
his thing comes from like ignoring like little stuff that his daughter needs. Like, hey, Robbie, deal with it, to the point where he's taking this stuff on and he's actually becoming more nurturing throughout the movie in like these little intricate ways. Like when she asks him to sing those songs and he doesn't know, and then she pulls out the ribbon that she like kept from her trot, and he wasn't there for that, so he sings her the song that he knows to comfort her. He shows her that he cares, maybe not in the way that she needs it, but in his own way that he is able to do that.
Would he still be just as likable if he just started like doing a lullaby version of "Pour Some Sugar on Me"? Would he still be just as likable?
It does seem like the type of song that he would... I can picture him fixing up his car in the garage with that, blasting his PVR.
Going to the gentleman's club down the street that he probably frequents with his buddies, and that's the only song he hears on repeat.
They love him in there. He's got a punch card. Yeah, lap dance punch card for sure. Yeah.
Wings are half price on Tuesdays.
Yeah, the relationship between him and his kids, I think, is really, because... I mean, the most direct line you have in the movie is probably when Robbie's like, "You're an asshole, I hate coming here," or something like, or whatever. That's pretty direct. But besides that, I think they do handle it, pretty well, especially with the differences between his relationship with Rachel and the relationship with Robbie, and then Robbie and Rachel's relationship, like that triangle. Each there's a distinct relationship line between each character, and I just, man, that scene where he's trying so desperately to go join the army, as every able-bodied 18-year-old boy should.
Mm-hmm. And he's 15.
And Tom Cruise stops him, and then he goes, "You just want to dump us on Mom, so you can only have to care about yourself," which is like what you've always wanted. And then she comes out screaming at Robbie, like, where are you trying to go? And if you go, who will take care of me? When she's standing 5 feet away from her dad. And he just has to stand there as Robbie picks up Dakota Fanning and walks back to the car, like as the soldiers pass behind them. It's a really good...
It's a really
good shot, and it is
this movie rocks.
It is a clear, intimate, family drama moment, so even with the war going on right behind them, with the soldier cars passing. It's just like shows that even in the midst of all this chaos and destruction, we got really intense family drama that kind of keeps us hooked on a small level there too. In terms of Tom Cruise likability, I think I agree with on paper all these things.
Separate Tom Cruise from
I know. But I was going to say is like all these little traits on paper, yes, unlikable person, but I'm not just like seeing, it's not like, oh, the name Tom Cruise is making me like him. I just think he is that charming to where he can still take this flawed character and have me root for him in a way. Like he at one point he yells at his daughter to shut up in the car in the most traumatizing moment of her life. And he screams, "Shut up," because it's also the most traumatizing moment of his life. And he's focused on himself keeping cool, and he's overwhelmed by having to take care of his kids at the same time, obviously. And that's like the journey he's going on here. But I'm curious, like, because I can't picture another Tom Cruise character acting like that, Is this the least...
Well, in Cocktail he does.
Right. I was trying to think of like...
When he pours, he rains.
I was going to say Born on the 4th of July.
Is this the least capable we've seen Tom Cruise? I'm not going to say most unlikable, because, probably most unlikable is probably like Magnolia or something.
You think he's not capable in this movie?
He's a little bumbling.
Maybe he's just a regular guy. He's a regular guy. Think of every other Tom Cruise movie you've seen him in. Obviously, taking Ethan Hunt out of the equation because he's the most competent person in the history of people doing competent things. But like even like Top Gun, amazing at flying jets.
So you're saying at baseline, do you think this is the lowest baseline he's ever had?
The lowest rung of the ladder we've seen.
Because even at that, I think he's like the highest competent regular guy out there with what he's doing. Like to have the wherewithal to not only look at with the whole grenades situation that he's going through, or he
knows how to get the van started. His mechanic buddy doesn't even know how to get the van started. He tells him how to fix the van when he's just walking by.
I gotta agree with Zach on this one. Like he's not even the grenade thing isn't that out there.
Yeah, he just kind of lucked his way into that one.
Otherwise, he drives the car into the crowd, which goes bad. All he's doing is keeping him and his children alive for the next hour, 1 hour at a time.
Honestly,
and he's not doing any big plans.
Impossible.
It seems impossible, but there are no huge feats that he's doing outside of just survival in the moment.
I guess
I think I have one that while he doesn't stay as capable,
did you establish this idea, Cole?
Movie, I would say he does have one, but it's like a very like loose one, and it's Major William Cage in Edge of Tomorrow. At the beginning of the movie,
in the soldier.
At the beginning of the movie, he is the least capable character you will ever meet.
No,
like when
dude,
he gets onto the beach. Beginning of the movie, I am talking beginning of the movie, because he dies probably a million times. So yes, obviously he's going to be able to learn from his mistakes, but at the beginning of the movie, he doesn't know how to like load a clip into the suit. He doesn't know anything about war.
I mean, he doesn't know how to do any of that in this movie.
Cole, I agree with you. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I think, Zach, if I'm understanding your side correctly, within the role that he's playing, this is the least capable, and in the role he's playing in Edge of Tomorrow, he is like a media guy, you know. And he has really worked his way up at the very beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
So I think he is
He's
very
selling
capable.
the war at the beginning of that movie. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think he is very capable in what he's doing, but when he gets thrown into, he's very incapable at.
Yeah. That's a great way of phrasing it. 'Cause, I mean, I'm thinking about every other
agree with you,
role
Cole,
he's in.
but,
Maybe Jerry Maguire, because he's kind of like working from the bottom up there, but you know, he's still pretty capable in that. I mean, think of like Few Good Men in the Firm. He's like the best lawyer in the world in the firm, apparently. You know, he's the hot, like, he's the Jack Crone of lawyers.
He's in the Navy, Zach. He's not in the firm.
He's
in
also
the US
busting up
Navy.
unions?
Wait, in the firm, Cole? Cole, the firm is...
I thought you said A Few Good Men.
I said in both of them, but A Few Good Men, he's still a lawyer, Cole. Yeah,
he's the best lawyer that likes
He's the
baseball.
best, what is it, plea bargainer in the Navy in A Few Good Men. He's like successfully argued like 40 cases in
he's the
2
best
months.
longshoreman in this movie, and he blows off his boss.
Well, he also
You know what?
he gets his legs blown off and born on the 4th of July, so maybe that's the lowest
That's
one
what I was
there.
saying. We've touched on it a little bit, but I want to get back to it because I think this was the part of the movie that I really, really enjoyed, and something I talked about in Close Encounters. But like the scale of this movie, you feel like when it's like they're showing, like I talked about it in Jake, the car scene that he drives up and people are banging on the hood, the window, saying like you could fit 20 people. Like you feel the scale there, but even when they zoom way far out and you see this horde of people all rushing for the boat, and you just and the tripod is behind
so
it, like
good.
that shot, like the scale of that alone. And then when you see the news that after the plane crash and they're showing all the tripods that are moving through the city, it's like I was just blown away at the scale of this movie. It is insane. Like comparing it to something like Close Encounters, it doesn't even, I don't even think it's comparable in that fact, because it just does so good at what it's trying to do.
As this movie like goes as like a global disaster movie, even though it's focused so much on the characters and very low to the ground, I love the scenes. Like it feels like a global disaster and no one has any idea what's going on. I love the scene when they show all the different TV stations reporting all the different cities where this is happening, and it's like, oh man, like you just saw all the havoc that happened in Boston, all the people killed, and it goes, and now that it's happening everywhere right now, and like the stakes of it are just like set at that high, and it feels so hopeless.
I know. I love that. Like it feels hopeless as he's driving away and he's freaking out and he's going through every single emotion. And then when he sees that it's everywhere, it's like he thought there was no lower that he could go, but he still thought like, okay, we'll just keep going. We'll keep moving. We'll keep driving. We'll eventually get away from this. But then seeing that, it's like, there's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
You are trapped in this world now. Yeah. It's like that whole part was, I mean,
I think
they're like, oh, do you have I need the next big story or something, and they just like move on, and so like they're playing almost like a comedic relief, or just tension relief, but it just doesn't even break up what he's going through at that moment, and like
on
him saying with Robbie and everything like that right after too.
As this movie functions as like a disaster movie, it is so good about like giving you a little bit of hope and then ripping it out. Of course, is part which shows you how global it is and all the panic from the original scene. But then you think about the ferry scene, and you're like, you want the characters to get on the ferry so bad, like God, they just got to get there to survive. And then when the tripod comes up and you realize, okay, like the ferry is not safe, everything is like hopeless there.
Right.
There's this scene when on the river when the bodies float by. I remember the first time I saw this when I was a kid,
Incredible.
that scene got me.
Yeah, I actually do
told
remember
you to
being
stay
kind of
where I could see.
I mean, because you watch this movie as a kid, and like just like Dakota Fanning, if Dakota Fanning is your like audience or your character surrogate for where you are, which is probably the age I was when I watched this movie, that scene, that loss of innocence she has there, that's kind of it's back on you because you're shaken up by that image as much as she is. Not that this was like the first movie with a death in it that I'd seen, but it's the way that scene is directed because I'm sure in Jurassic Park I'd seen that way before I saw this, and people die in that movie. You get a severed arm on Laura Dern's shoulder. It's different. The tone of it is different. You can feel something is so off about these bodies going down the river in this broad daylight with the sun sparkling off the water into Dakota Fanning's face. And honestly, I also noted that part specifically, Jake, because I think that we're so used to talking about John Williams with Spielberg movies, and I'm not saying this is a bad score by any means, but this score really blends seamlessly into the moments because I really never really pick up on it much. It never makes me really notice it much, but that's the moment where I was like, oh, John, that eerie music when those bodies start going down the river, starts with just one body and then there's a ton of them. That is one of the eeriest moments in a Spielberg movie ever. I'd say pretty safely. Yeah. That is a clear highlight for me in this movie.
I think that's why I don't feel Spielberg in it as much, because like those moments when you have in Jaws or when you have it in Jurassic Park or even in like Close Encounters, there is that like horror aspect to it where you are just terrified of what's going to happen to your characters, what's going to happen in the story, and what like the big bad or like this mysterious thing is going to do to your characters and like how that's going to change what happens next. But like in this one, they're so mysterious. You don't even have like every single other movie. I feel like you have that sense of wonder and like, oh my gosh, like I have a certain level of respect for what's going on. Like I feel like in Close Encounters, the Ray character, I mean, his name isn't it? It's Ray, right? Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Ray and Roy.
Just like
it's Roy. It's Roy.
Roy. Roy in that one, he's not like horrified by it, more like, oh my gosh, I need to chase I need to see it. Yes. And like in Jurassic Park you have the same thing, and Jaws you have it to a lesser extent because everyone is scared, but like you have the fishermen that are all like, oh, this is the thing, like like you have to have a certain level of respect for what's around you in the ocean because like we're just as part of the world as they are. But with this, it's like you never get that moment or that connection with anyone in the movie where it's like these things are here to help us, or like it's anything along those lines. You never get any of that. Everyone is just so terrified, and it just never stops throughout. And so I think that's why I don't really feel Spielberg to go back to that, because of these horrific, huge scale moments that are just boom, 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 boom. Just one after another, and they all hit so impactfully.
I do want to say that you're right because the aliens are pretty much bad right away, and it happens in a pretty quick sequence. But even that brief amount of time between aliens, the lightning storm starting, and when the tripod emerges from the ground, that like 8 minutes of movie, that is one of my favorite things is noticing signs that something is happening soon. And I've talked about this in other movies. Like I think I definitely specifically mentioned it in Friday the 13th. I love a good storm in a movie, just the symbolism, the simple symbolism of a storm on the horizon.
Feeling about this,
I love that stuff, and like it kind of even reminded me of like the way that Tom Cruise is like getting a thrill out of the lightning, even though his daughter is terrified. He's smiling. He starts doing like the "Oh say can you see" or whatever. It's like 4th of July, which even that comment I feel like it's kind of hinting at the 9/11-ness of this movie or whatever a little bit. Just the America of it, destruction going on here. Because he thinks it's cool. He thinks it's cool. It's not affecting him. He thinks this is like whatever, no big deal. And this explosion is awesome to him. But that little bit before he realizes it's an actual threat, and they're just a bunch of people watching the lightning storm, and then he goes and takes a walk, and they're all like looking at the ground, like, "Whoa, this is crazy." That whole period of like you're not for sure that this is going to be a bad thing yet. Even that little bit is enough to for me to kind of latch onto the dread of it before it becomes actual terror, destruction, horror, whatever, death. And then when it comes out of the ground, it is horrifying. I think that's that whole sequence from the lightning storm to them getting to the parents' house. Like that 30-minute, 25 minutes a movie. I don't know. I think that's the highlight of the movie for me. That
part also, and like how it's shot, how it's how it's like structured. It reminds me so much of the D-Day scene in Saving Private Ryan, of just the chaos all around you and just moving through the scene that way. The way he can move a camera through his set is just incredible. And I think that scene with how it's blocked out is just incredible filmmaking. Just 10 out of 10. One of my favorite scenes in any sci-fi movie, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, the way the dust of it is just horrifying. And like, so comparing this movie tonally to like Independence Day, which is before 9/11, and this is not like a reach to be like, oh, War of the Worlds is like a kind of like a 9/11 movie. It's not like about 9/11, but it's definitely post 9/11. Like you can see the DNA of it here, just in the difference of just the tone of it. And Steven Spielberg even said it, so it's not like I'm not reaching. He said that because it's not like Steven Spielberg is like, because we were talking about his other alien movies with E.T. and Close Encounters, how those are like friendlier aliens, they're allusions to like companionship or wonder, like, for the characters in that movie. I don't think he's saying here aliens, when they show up, they're going to be bad. I just think that they're just a storytelling device to kind of show how humans' sense of importance in War of the Worlds is completely shaken when they realize they are not the dominant species in the galaxy. We are not the top of the food chain. And that like rearranging of where you stand, that invincibility you thought you had as a planet is completely just thrown into disarray. And, that chaotic feeling, that uncertainty, that dread or whatever, probably is, I was 3 years old in 9/11, but I imagine it was for the adults who had just thought that anything on the home front was not going to happen. Like, America's safe. We go overseas for wars and stuff, and we'll do stuff in other places of the world, but nothing bad could happen here as a result of another country attacking us. And having that reality completely shattered with 9/11, I feel like that is very present here in the destruction here, and just showing that terror, and like the fact that he's wiping the dust of other people off his face, and that it kind of makes me think of like those like photos of people following the direct aftermath.
Coming out of the ash.
The woman in the office attire photo where she's just covered in dust. I'm not saying it's human dust in that scene, in that photo, but it's a direct.
I think that reference that he was doing by having him get covered in the ash with that, I think that was very much clearly intentional to show like the similarities between the event.
Yeah, I mean, what does Morgan Freeman say in the beginning? Like that we were so sure of our. I had his quote pulled up. Where did I put it? Yeah, I mean. Like we took things for granted. We took the things that we could do every day, our freedom or whatever, for granted, or whatever it is. As he's talking about humanity in general there, I just think, in terms of illusions and that kind of thought process, you could apply to just like Americans in general in War of the Worlds.
Zach, just to add on to that, you were talking about how we have this idea that it could never happen here, but when Spielberg is panning across conversations of people as like the horde of people are walking towards the ferry, and I believe it's when the guys go, they're only here. They're only on like our shores. He's pointing out like this is only happening in the United States at this moment.
It's not. No, they've talked about London went dark and another. I think it's worldwide, isn't it?
It started with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the lines that always gets to me in relation to like this time period of like the early 2000s is when all the chaos is going on, and his daughter goes, "Is it the terrorists?" And it's like, and that just like instantly grounds it into that early 2000s period where that was everything. There were those attacks going on. Everyone was so worried about it, and like that one's like it's almost like a period piece of that early 2000s post 9/11 mentality.
And yeah, and in terms of like a huge multi-casualty disaster, which this, and it was 9/11 is one that is so covered in the sense that it is like all on camera. Like there's footage of the plane hitting the towers. Like it is just photos of it everywhere and all that stuff. The first person you see get dusted, you see through a video camera. And that, like, not only was 9/11 such an awful tragedy, it's one that everyone got to see because it was all over the news and you could see it. It's right in front of you on your TV. You can just instantly look at it. And it's that, the way that we're like the way that the first thing the aliens do is they knock out like news coverage too. Like it's just the way everything goes dark, and that is like almost even scarier. Like post that initial attack is like that's what the newswoman says. Like when like every place these things show up, that place goes dark immediately, and there's no contact. So it's just like once these like things that you depend on in society that you take for granted. Like societal collapse movies are always scary to me because like that safety net of what you think you can count on is just eradicated. And like, especially like when you're a kid and like your parents are, you just assume that your parents are invincible and that they know what to do. They'll always know what to do. And like the way that they see that Ray has no idea what to do, really, like he's scared too and he's not really sure what to do. Like you're just thrown into complete disarray. It's just like really
I'll
scary.
take that and raise it to another Spielberg level in terms of like when watching the safety net collapse and in terms of kind of the horror and overall like mass casualty events and just hopelessness, and two very different types of movies. But one way Spielberg, when he shoots tragedies and just like making you feel seeing all the death and destruction, honestly, some of that carried over very different movies, but Schindler's List, where it showcases like, hey, mass casualties, hopelessness, like the society has crumbled in these camps, and seeing how he directs that, the bleakness of it. I get some of the same feelings in this movie when you see the bodies in the river, when you see the hillside of people running, all being murdered by the tripods. It's the same level of mass casualty, systemic destruction that just like drags down the viewer. And so I can kind of see Spielberg, while he is that family and that heart, he doesn't shy away from going to like really dark places.
Yeah. And especially right in the immediate like aftermath of 9/11, like think of the movies, like there's this, right? Because 9/11 is 2001. This is 5, right?
Yes,
I believe so.
There's this, I think his first movie after 9/11, which was Minority Report, that was probably already into production by the time it happened and stuff, but maybe that informed how they were making it. But with the mass surveillance paranoia of that, he makes a pretty politically charged movie with Munich, which of course takes place in the 70s or whatever, so not directly 9/11 related, but you can make some parallels. And then of course there's The Terminal, which is all about planes. So I don't know if
Trapped in
there's
an
something
airport,
there.
can't go home. Yeah.
Whoa.
I did want to say, you're comparing it to the tragedy that was 9/11. I was thinking about, you say catching it on camera, and my brain immediately goes back to the Challenger. They're watching this ship go up with all this hope. One of the rockets starts combusting and then boom. Walter Cronkite's voice is silent for the first time in 50 some odd years, which Zach and I had a teacher show us that video in grade school. Wow.
The first time I heard about the Challenger was, I think, unfortunately, it was through an Eminem lyric. I think where he said, "I just blew up the Challenger. Matter of fact, I need a lawyer." I don't really remember the context of that, but that's when I first learned about it.
Recovery.
That's when I first learned about it. I didn't know what that was about.
My mom grew up in Florida. They all went outside to watch these things like launch. She was in school at the time, I think, or she was like
there was a teacher on the plane.
Yeah,
on
the
class
ship
was watching. Yeah, that's really sad.
Outside, they saw it in person. They looked up and saw it.
Yeah,
but that's what my brain went to, in the fact that it was like,
I think,
this sense of wonder. Yes, this storm is happening, and there is a sense of dread, but there's also a sense of wonder that all of this is going on, and then all of a sudden, ship blows up. Type deal,
it's just kind of, I mean, you
goes
just
to
assume
crap
that we're the best, we're
quick.
invincible, and then there's immediate vulnerability shown right in front of you that we're not infallible, and
yeah, and like you said, caught on camera, so that's where my brain.
Yeah, Mom, text me if that's not correct. If I made that story up. I've been telling a lot of people. I want to talk about the aliens. I think we've talked about them a lot at the scale.
Mm-hmm.
But the aliens and kind of the way we eventually defeat them, kind of all that in one. Like the mystery of what do they want, the slow discovery of like all the stuff that they're capable of. I think all that stuff in the scale of it, we've kind of talked about it, is really, really good. How did we feel about the aliens, how they were designed, how we see them in person, and ultimately how they are defeated?
Can I just say, paint a picture for you of, I think, a missed opportunity that would have blown American minds at this time.
This isn't
worldwide
audio media, so maybe
let me paint a picture.
Paint us a word picture,
a verbal picture. They're in the basement. All of a sudden, the aliens are coming down. They're freaking out. You ready for the creepy crawlies coming? It's an E.T. alien walking down the stairs. Oh my God. It is a secret E.T. sequel. They're back and they're evil.
And Roy from Close Encounters is with him.
Roy from Close Encounters.
He was the inside agent the whole time.
Yeah,
he's just looking around like, "Whoa, what planet?"
And then Ray
are we
has
on
to beat
now?
an ET to death with a hammer. It's great. Boom.
He's back. He's not alone.
Tim
and
Robbins
he's 10 million
Tim Robbins would have
miles
beaten
away
E.T. to
from
death
home.
with a hammer. I can tell you that much.
Oh, with the shovel that he was sharpening.
I think the tripods are one of the most horrifying images in sci-fi history. I will say that. And the sound design is a big part of that as well. I am saying that to set up the fact that I think we did not need the physical aliens to come down into that basement.
I would agree there. Hard agree.
Unless we found a way to kind of shoot them in the shadows a bit more and make them a little more, not to beat a dead horse like we did with Mandalorian and Grogu, but, maybe a little more practical creature design.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta stop using tangible, or else the word will mean nothing to us anymore. But yeah, practical is a general enough term that we can say that.
Do you think seeing them diminished your
a little
horror view of them, or horror feeling of them?
I think maybe if all you got was the hand at the end. Yeah, I think if all we got was the hand at the end, that might have been enough.
Yeah,
that might have been enough.
I think the camera in the basement, that works enough to be like, okay, we're not safe in our homes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need them to come into the homes to therefore make us feel like they can get Ray, because the camera can already, like that little snake thing, that's already getting into the house. I think that is as far as we need to go for, like, these people are no longer safe in their homes. And that's where you can end it. I don't think you need like the weird CGI like aliens. Though I will say I did like the design because it's very reminiscent of Independence Day. It did look like the aliens in Independence Day for
that's what
me,
I was thinking.
but a little more updated for the times.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're CGI in Independence Day. They're
Practical.
There.
Yeah.
Will Smith punches it.
They're oopy goopy. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's mystery to it. And I think mystery is great. I think the fact that we don't really see the aliens in Close Encounters makes them more interesting when the screen cuts to black. Like E.T., you can't do that because, he's there. It's his and Elliot's story. But here, if you take away the physical manifestation of the alien and just leave the tripods, I think it's a lot more terrifying.
You're not going to get scarier than the tripods. I think that's it. Like, no matter what comes next, it's hard to raise that terror. So keeping it to the tripods, I think, is good enough to keep the tension high.
I will play the other side a little bit because I don't think seeing the aliens really bothered me, but I think seeing them, I will agree that they probably dropped the level of like horror that I felt because of them, and seeing them in person probably dropped that. But like seeing them specifically like mess with a bike and the bike fall over and they like jump back.
Yeah.
Seeing all
what
that
are we
like
doing there.
Okay.
Felt like the
not.
Velociraptors, like we kind of talked about.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of aliens that are so technologically superior.
Yeah, I think the goal of it, which I do think the goal of it was well received, was this movie's very much in your face. The threat is very much at your door. It's right there. There's no escaping it. And like, yes, maybe a metal arm's going to come in first and scare you that way, but they're right here. There's not like it's just removing that level, that barrier, that wall between us and them, and saying no. You may think this is a machine, but it's like these things are here, and it's just taking that to the next level. I think, Jake, you said it perfectly, where it's like whatever you do next is not going to be as scary. So
exactly,
it might as well have been the E.T. aliens coming down and doing that, because it doesn't matter. Whatever came out of that machine was going to be just like, oh, look at this silly guy,
So make it an actual silly guy.
Yeah, it might as well. I do now want to talk about the ending and why Cole hates humanity's lesson that we've learned over the years. I want to get one thing off my chest, and then I'll get to some calls. But I want to get one thing off my chest.
Take some calls.
Yeah, I want to get one thing off my chest, and then I'll open it up for more comments and consideration. But in the book, and I think they encapsulate that very well in the movie too, so I'll stick with what they were saying in the movie. Ray is just reacting in the moment. The entire movie, Ray is reacting in the moment. He is just trying to survive the next minute, the next hour. Like, he is not looking for days and years into the future. He is just, what can I do to survive and get past whatever issue that I'm currently in? That's all he's looking to do, And what this gets at is, I think it's very much there is nothing you can do right now to defeat these things except try to survive. And the lesson that it's teaching, it's like sometimes you just have to prepare. Sometimes you just have to keep moving forward. Sometimes all you can do is try to survive. And so the overall ending of them being defeated by a bacteria and humanity earning its place on Earth through the millions of years and the billions of deaths that we've experienced, and how that's made us stronger every single step of the way. I think that's a very impactful lesson and very impactful message to take away, because it's like looking at it in, if you take it for just yourself, like the lesson just for yourself, it's like if you were getting given into like a car accident or anything, like there's a disaster in your life, it's not about like, sometimes there's not anything you can do in the moment. Sometimes it's only the stuff like, how am I going to prepare to make sure that I get through something like that right now? You know, how am I going to, and so taking it internally like that. But I think the overall message, like all you could do in this movie was try to get to the next minute. All you could do was try to get past this road, this mob of people. That's all you could try to do. You can't plan on like, okay, we're going to get to Boston and then we're going to call the president and then the president's going to launch a nuke and then and that's the plan and then we're going to win. You know, it's like, no, it doesn't matter what you shoot at them. It doesn't matter what you do to them, because they're at this right now, they're invincible, and you have to hope that by trying to survive, you do survive. And I think this movie does an incredible job at making that its overall story and what it's trying to get at. So Cole, I want to hear your opinion, because I want to understand why you think it
beat that.
Because but that, like, I also, coming from someone who just spent the last 2 weeks just fully engulfed in the properties that War of the Worlds has to offer. So I will say that I'm a little bit partial at this point because I've indoctrinated myself. But Cole, if you want to go, but if you were like, give me a second, and you want to hear Zach or Jake go,
I got nothing. I think
that's
fine.
My thing is, you know, it's like you said, it's about getting to the next minute, which is the triumph of the human spirit. It's how we survive. Now, I know there is a person on this podcast who in 10 million years of evolution still gets sick every like 5 days, but, you know, that doesn't happen to everybody. And maybe it could have worked its way into the plot a little more. I think by the end, it's just 10 minutes, you know, it's 10 minutes of the ship's falling apart and the aliens dying.
So
I think you work it into the plot a little more, and then that works a little better for me. At the end of the movie, it feels a bit like a cop-out, because we don't take the time to really examine like this, because, Corey, what's the alien species from Invincible that they can't really... No, the one they battled that their time moves way faster.
Thraxons.
Yeah. But anyway, like it's kind of like that, you know, they haven't adapted to our time, so they're falling apart, which they go back, they regroup, and then they come back, you know?
Yeah.
But you can't, you lose me when you don't work it into the plot, and you're just like, at the end of the movie, okay, they fell apart in like 10 minutes, when in reality, if you want to talk about how like tough our air is and how like we've like been built to survive, you have to make that kind of noticeable.
Cole wanted like a tripod kind of stumbling around earlier in the movie. Like, I think that one's sick.
I wanted a tripod going for a Dayquil. They were robbing a Walgreens.
Okay, just example.
A tripod sneezes.
The red goop's on the ground. And as Ray kind of walks away, because there's about like an hour and a half, or half an hour left in the movie. You kind of keep it on there, and then it starts like falling apart then.
Ooh.
So
I do love the little red blood roots spreading over everything.
So
that's an awesome
because
part.
when he gets to Boston and he goes up to the statue, he grabs it and he's like, "Oh, this is, you know, it's falling apart by then."
Cole,
but it's also supposed to be fresh then.
What if you had M. Night Shyamalan about halfway through the movie, you know, in his car about to drive off or whatever, and he just shares his theory with Tom Cruise, then like, I think I'm gonna go to the water. I don't see any of them around the water.
I'm gonna go to the Walgreens.
Yeah, Signs and War of the Worlds kind of have similar endings in that way a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact that it's in the last 10 minutes of the movie. That is my
Allow
only
that take,
issue.
Cole. I think that's
that
a
is
fair
my
enough
only
take.
issue. You stretch it out a little more, and I know these screenwriters because I really like the screenplay. I think they could have worked it in. Yeah, David Koepp, who's writing a Disclosure Day.
Jurassic World Rebirth, David Koepp. He's still writing it. He's still working on it. It's chipping away.
I'm going to say that's fair. I'm also going to say if you extend it too much or you try to explain it too much, you kind of miss the best parts of this movie, and you distract from the humanity of it, which I don't think I wanted to take away from that. But I'm not going to say what you're saying is wrong, because they do kind of go to it at the very end. But even for I thought it was enough, but I can understand where you're coming from.
I just think 20 more minutes. You give me 20, like working it in a little.
Movie. So giving it an entire act?
20 more minutes in. It's a 2-hour movie. I mean,
it's a 2-hour, 20-minute movie.
You just start working it in just a little bit.
I see what you mean. Do it 20 minutes earlier. I see what you mean. You don't want to add 20 minutes to the movie.
I get what you're saying, but I just think I got to disagree.
We're at 10 minutes and Ray's like, the birds.
Well, at that point, it's like, once they can blow up one, it's like...
And then that's when it's like stumbling around all drunk. Had a few.
So you're saying if you had like...
Went to Ray's local watering pool.
If you had the red root like crumbling a little bit earlier in a certain spot.
It's like when he leaves like Harlan's house.
Yeah, that Wizard of Oz shot.
There's not that much in between. Like,
I don't know if
when
that
they
would've
introduce the red
done-
root to the red root dying, like there's not. It gets to it pretty quick.
Yeah, I also don't know.
And like
if
the first
if that
time you
would've done
introduce the
enough
red
to,
root, if
like-
it's already dying.
Yeah,
true.
Fair enough.
You'd have to introduce the red root.
I do think it's really
way
interesting if you
earlier.
go back and look at the original novel, like, because same ending, same thing there, and like germs had only been like discovered about like 20 years earlier than the novel coming out, and I think it's really cool, like looking back then, like
only discovered germs in the 1900s.
Actually, it was like 1860.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, they're really small, and so I think it's a really cool way of like, okay,
Midi-chlorians.
yeah, showing this there, and like that's still something. There's a reason we decontaminate all of our spaceship because we don't want to spread germs that way. It's like it's still a real thing. It's I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's clever. I don't know. I've never had a problem with it. It's not that type of movie.
It seems like a bit of an oversight on the aliens' part.
Yeah.
Do they not have germs on their planet? I guess maybe so. They
Not
have the
our
whole
germs.
concept of being immune
No, they
to
don't.
something.
Nah.
But I know. But if they've had their own little
No,
germs
I
on
think in the book they specify that the planet that they came from, Mars,
99.9% germ free.
It doesn't have germs. No, it literally says like they came from like a sterile environment.
That was their actual big technological advantage. Their like Lysol, it killed 100% of germs, not 99.9%.
Nice.
Yeah,
They got the last point.
they got them all.
You need one of those aliens when they come down to the basement, just sneezing around.
If one sneezed,
The other
in the
alien, like,
basement,
pats him on the
would that
back,
have been
like, you
enough
good?
for you?
Like,
And
one
the
of
other
the
one
aliens
freaks the
said
fuck out.
something?
Like, what the hell was that?
He pulls trig.
That
One alien just
actually-
pulls trig in the corner. Just-
Honestly, if
He
you're
wipes
going to
his
introduce
nose.
it a little bit earlier, that probably would have been the moment to introduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
If you were going to at all, like hinting at it there.
They start coughing.
Yeah, something like that, or the
or
equivalent.
they start moving like slower. They come out fast, and by the end of the getting back in the ship, they're
Like,
moving a bit slower.
They have an asthma
Yeah.
attack.
Or they're stumbling or something like that.
They're a little silly.
All right.
But
On to
the review section.
the award season. Cole.
Apparently they strayed off course, and we're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for? Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Every
Thing
single
pulled
episode.
up, dude, that's the thing. I have it pulled up.
The thing is that this is like episode 110. That's the thing.
The Thing is a movie by John
award-
Carpenter.
We
You're
award
damn right.
and
You're
then we
damn
review. We award and then we review. We award and then we review. We award.
Ask, wait, really quick before we do the, because Jake brought that up. I know we asked Jake what his favorite like Spielberg movie is, but Jake, did you have a favorite alien movie besides a Spielberg alien?
Ooh.
Besides Spielberg, what is your favorite? Alien
Besides
movie?
the Spielberg one, let's just go favorite alien movie. We're gonna say Alien. That's just plain.
That's fair.
That's a good.
I'm beaten down by the fairness of that take.
I love it. I'm going to choose that over Aliens ever so slightly because I like the creepy claustrophobia of Alien a little bit more than the action adventure of Aliens.
Jake, what's your favorite movie that came out in June 1982?
Oh yeah, that's actually a harder question than
it's a much
you'd
harder
assume,
movie.
Jake.
Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Why do you hate John Carpenter's The Thing?
Yeah, great question.
Why do you hate?
What's your favorite movie by Alien, Harvey?
Jake, on to the awards season.
Yeah, where were we?
Jake, who is your MVP for this movie?
Yeah, I got one. Easy. It is the sound designer. I don't know who it is, but whoever it did. Yeah, sorry, I should probably look that up. It was all of us. All of us are the sound designer.
I designed the sound.
Willem Dafoe.
But the sound of the tripods. I was lucky enough to see this movie in a theater about a year ago, and the tripod horn in a theater is incredible. It's terrifying. It shakes your bones. From that to the heat ray sound to like the sound of people screaming, I feel like it does like the crowd terror and the sound when people get zapped. It's sound design incredible. Top tier.
we have a team. We like to give some names here. So I'm going to say the top two on the team was Michael Broomberg.
Oh, I could tell this had Michael Broomberg all over it.
Michael Broomberg and Christopher Flick. So we'll give them.
I have Richard King showing up on my search.
You have who?
Richard King.
I have Richard King on here as well. He's number 4 on Letterboxd's list.
Done a disservice. He's done a disservice.
Interesting. Well done to all of you on the sound design.
And then number 3 is Gary Hecker. We named the top 4.
Cousin to former Rams punter Johnny Hecker.
That is correct.
That is not true.
It's a team. I'm gonna write down it's a team.
It's a team.
Cole, who is your MVP?
Takes a village.
Whoa! Wait a second. Cole, you are not second on this list.
He got to go first last time. He got to go first for Mando and Grogu.
I made the sheet.
You don't always get to go first.
Okay, but you don't get to jump me. I get to go next.
You were before me last time.
Corey's spoken.
I have spoken.
That's okay. I'm going to go last. I don't think my guy's going to be taken. It's fine.
I'm going to pick Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was incredible. I saw the horror on his face.
Wasn't it?
Going through it, like I talked about the journey that he went on, and I actually think he was more likable at the end, and I think he was more mature at the end. And those are two things that are very hard to convey, likability and maturity. You know, and especially in a movie that's not very like. It is about him, but it's about like a grander sense of people as a whole. And I think he played this movie so well. So Tom Cruise is my MVP for War of the Worlds.
I will say one of my favorite moments is when he decides to get kidnapped by the aliens and brought up into the cage, and he finds his daughter, and you see this like dopey smile on his face when he's like, Rachel!
Yeah, he's kind of back to his normal self.
He's so happy to find her.
Who's better at yelling Rachel, Christian Bale or Tom Cruise?
Rachel.
Tom Cruise. Tommy Tom. I am going to go the screenwriters, Josh Friedman and David Kapp. While the ending, like I said, could have been stretched out a little, I think this script is really well put together, especially the family dynamic that was written into this. I love the characters. I love the fact that I can't stand Robbie because he's such a little asshole.
Does he look like a young Billy Joe Armstrong to you?
Yeah,
yes.
Justin Chatwin does.
That's weird.
He does. Justin Chatwin does.
That actually is Billy Joel Armstrong.
I think Dakota Fanning's character is very well written. I mean, Tom Cruise as Ray is great. I mean, these characters are great. They're all memorable, even coming down to the news crew and Harlan. I mean, the people we meet along the way feel just as important as the people we are going through this story with, and that is the sign of a good screenplay.
Yeah, I do love in movies like this. I feel like this is not the only movie like this, but like any like New York set movie. Like I was thinking about the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. It seems like all our main cast, they all, talk normal, but every single side character you meet will have a thick New York accent, but somehow our characters have stayed impervious to such accent. So like, I'm thinking of like the cop and like the mechanic in this one, the cops, the people on the street, like they all got these New York, the guy who steals the car from them. They all have these accents.
Tom Cruise being a longshoreman and not having the thickest Boston accent is actually a
what the hell's
crime.
that about? I would love to have it. That would bump this up a half star for me, I think, if he did.
No.
Genuine. I was thinking about this seems like if he was not, if Tom Cruise was not in this movie, you know damn well Ben Affleck was second on the call sheet or call list for this role.
No,
for sure.
I think this was around the time of Gigli, so I think he was blacklisted from Hollywood
Dude,
at this time.
Well, I guess Ben
Matt
Affleck's from
Damon?
Boston, but I mean, wait. Tom Cruise is a New York fan, so it's actually I don't know if it would have been.
They live in don't they live in Boston?
They're in Brooklyn.
The kid lives in Boston now.
kid,
The parent, the mom's parents, because he's wearing the Boston hat.
No,
they
wait,
live closer to Boston.
no.
Tom Cruise lives
They're
in Brooklyn.
going to Boston. They're going.
Yeah,
to
that's
Boston.
it.
Yeah,
They're
That's it.
shipping off to
That's it.
Boston.
All right,
To
I take
see
back my
her
comment about
parents.
Tom
To see
Cruise
her
not having a
parents.
Boston accent.
Yeah,
But he could have a New York accent.
Yeah, he should have a New York accent.
Ben Affleck would not put a Yankee hat on. Apparently, that was a big deal in
No, he wouldn't
Gone
put
Girl, that he refused to put a Yankee hat on, and
Banger.
they had to compromise by having him put on a Mets hat. And
He
that was,
delayed
put on a Cardinals
production.
no, he put
No,
on
no,
a Mets
he
hat.
put on
at
Mets
one
hat.
point, he wears a Mets hat.
I thought he was a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, but they
has a
delayed
Cardinals
production
shirt on.
for like 3 weeks.
He has a Cardinal shirt on toward the end. That's
'Cause
what
it's
you're
a-
thinking of.
He wears a David Eckstein
And
jersey.
Kim Wexler has a Kansas City Royals shirt on in one thing. I don't know
Ugh.
why that popped into my head just now. But
'Cause they're
that's an image
infested.
that's also
You know
ingrained in my
why.
head.
That's-
You know why.
Yeah,
Zach,
Ray,
who is your MVP?
Ray Shehorn,
If you just want to talk
for
if you want
her
to talk
role as
about
Kim
that.
Wexler, is my MVP of this
Okay.
one.
Ray
I'm
For
sorry.
real.
I'm looking at the wrong notes here.
For her role as Carol.
I haven't watched that show yet.
I was
It's
gonna say
really good.
I was gonna bet that Zach did not know that reference.
That's a tight read. That's a tight read. No, I knew who it is.
Well,
about,
knew the
but I
reference, but was not familiar
have
with the
not watched
story.
it yet.
Yeah.
Giannis Kaminsky is going to be my MVP. He's the
Giannis
cinematographer.
Antetokounmpo?
He's
Yeah.
the cinematographer for this picture. I think he's been the cinematographer on, I want to say every Spielberg, there might be one or two he didn't do it. Every Spielberg movie's from Schindler's List on. And I think I said during Close Encounters that I think Schindler's List is probably the best looking Spielberg movie. It is just shot incredibly well. But this, I do think the frenetic action scene, like, we talked about how good Spielberg is at blocking in this movie, just how you don't lose your characters even in the chaos. That's also, his cinematographer along with him. And I think, I wouldn't want every movie to look this way, but this style, like the tints in this movie work for this movie, like the same way that I wouldn't want like the Fabelmans to look like Minority Report, but it works for Minority Report because it's such a futuristic movie. And like same thing with this, it's not futuristic, but like this like lightning storm war zone of a movie, these blown out grayish, like bluish tints on the movie, like I think it really does work, and it just kind of adds to like the something is really wrong here feeling that you have in this movie. And and just specifically, Cole, you brought up that car scene earlier. Obviously I know they're not filming that on an actual highway where they're driving, but but they do that so seamlessly, and I love that shot of them going in and out of the car as they're arguing, and Tom Cruise goes, "No, not like Europe." That whole scene is just like, I don't know, that's edited, put together, shot, all of that really well. So yeah, Giannis Kaminsky, I think he does an excellent job here.
Great picks all around. I think I had
No
3
Dakota
on my
Fanning.
list. I had 3 on my list, and all 3 of them were chosen. So
Wow.
look at that.
Did none of us have Dakota? No one even considered Dakota Fanning. Is that what we're saying?
No.
I considered it.
One of my
Jake,
friend Nika's
someone-
review on
can
Letterboxd
we-
said
can we
the director
get
put
Jake an
a
award?
C4. So a director put a C4 on Dakota Fanning's chest and told her if she doesn't scream louder than anyone's ever screamed, he's gonna detonate it. And that's how he got the performance out.
She's kind of been having a resurgence, hasn't she? I feel like she's popping up.
Her
in
sister
stuff
is
more and more
all over
lately.
the place, but Elle Fanning's
She's
really good in Sentimental Value, that movie that came out
She's
last
in
year.
a new show with
Elle Fanning is.
Dakota Fanning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know Elle
She's
Fanning
in a
is
new
in a
show.
show.
All Her Fault. Jake, I think we talked about that. I don't remember. Anyway, on to the review section.
Says that they insist on outside opinions.
What kind of opinions?
Well, your kind, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds.
This movie out of 5, what would you give it?
Deadbeat dad, bratty kids, and a trip to Boston. Why don't we add in some aliens for good measure, just to make it interesting? 4.25 out of 5.
Interesting. Jake?
This could have been stopped if Elliot would have killed that goddamn alien. 4 out of 5.
Magic.
That's really good.
Zach?
Okay. Hey, Uncle Steven put your name at the top of his list, and Dakota Fanning started shaking her fist. And the plane will crash, man. It's gonna be hell when you hear that tripod start ringing its bell. And it feels like War of the Worlds raining down on you, all brought to you, all courtesy of Tom Cruise. 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
You could still, were
was
you really
lovely.
happy that you could still keep the plane crash?
Well, the plane crash,
Well,
I added the plane. That's actually not the line in the song. I brought in the plane crash from the film into that. I don't think he specifically references a plane in the song, but we know what he's talking about. Alan Jackson.
Here I go.
That's
War of
Toby
the- I realize
Keith.
what you're looking up.
That
Oh,
was
is it?
Toby Keith. You chose courtesy
Yeah, right.
of
The
Red,
Toby
White,
Keith
and
one, yeah. The Alan Jackson song is It's 9/11 somewhere. Like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's the sequel to that.
Corey?
War of the Worlds does an incredible job adapting from the original story and examining how humanity reacts when all seems lost. It's not about how we adjust for the ever-changing world in the moment, but how we prepare for the world to change. 4.25.
Play the Hair's a Grease sounder.
On to
Did I say
the
my rating?
post-credit scene.
Did I even say my rating, or did I just say
Yeah,
Tommy
4
Tom
out of 5.
Cruise?
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
To the post-credit scene.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
It was originally, hey, Uncle Tom put your name at the top of his list. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to
Whoa.
say Uncle Tom. Yeah.
Whoa.
I originally had it
That's
like
a sound
Steven
bite
at the
you
end.
don't want.
Insane.
All courtesy of the Steven Spielberg or whatever. Yeah, I had it flipped. I was like, uh-oh, got to switch that around.
Coming up next, we are covering Toy Story 4,
Mhm.
followed by Disclosure Day, and then Toy Story 5, going kind of back and forth. That's how we've been doing it, Jake. We're in the middle of Toy Story as well. Have you guys watched Toy Story 4 yet? Like, in preparation?
I've never seen it.
I watched it because it was like...
Shake 'em.
Interesting. I
It's
watched
good.
it because we were in the Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, and it's like, you should watch this next. And I was like, I should watch this next. So I watched it. Yeah, I am. So, but I've been watching other things. Anyway, Toy Story 4 is streaming on Disney Plus. I believe it's also on Hulu. Colt, you know,
If you
that's
have that bundle, I think it is on Hulu.
the
You have
bundle.
to have the bundle.
And then Disclosure Day and Toy Story 5 are both going to be in theaters in the middle of June. So look for that.
I
Anyway,
got my ticket.
before we get to that, before we talk more about that, and before we finish up, what have you all been watching? Jake, let's throw it to you. What have you been watching? Give us a movie. Give us a show.
I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but Widow's Bay on Apple TV with Matthew Reese. It is a horror comedy show. It's in a small little New England fishing village, and it is incredible. Oftentimes when you have something try and be like a horror comedy, one of those is just like, can't do it. It's like just kind of half-assed. This one, it lands, like the funny scenes are incredible, and it's legitimately scary, and like the acting is perfect. I love it so much. Can't recommend it enough. Apple TV, Widow's Bay. Check it out.
That came across my desk, and I was
Nice.
that
It's-
might be like the shock of the world that I just pick a random new show and actually watch
It's-
it. That would
it's a
that
big
might
Zach
have the
show.
premise
Stop.
to do it.
It's
That
a big
might have
Zach
the premise
show.
to do it.
Yeah.
I knew it. The way you're vouching for it helps
Yeah.
as well, Jake. But
It's
yeah, that
really
was on
good.
my short list of, you know what? Maybe I'll dip my toes in, see if the water's warm.
Join me.
Started watching Spider Noir
That's
on
out?
Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's out.
Yeah.
All of it's out. You can watch in black and white or in like full color. I've been going back and forth between both. I'm one episode in. I'm a fan. I'll say that. I'm only one episode in and I'm a fan. So we'll see if that continues. I haven't been taken out of it yet, but I like it. I like what it's going for. I like what it's doing. It's barking up the right tree with me so far.
Nice.
Movie-wise, been watching a lot of the War of the World movies, which I already talked about at the very beginning. So
Right.
that's kind of all I've been doing. Zach?
I don't really have anything new to say that I've been watching because I already talked about like Maul, Shadow Lord, which I'm now like 7 episodes in, and I really like it. I think it takes like maybe the first couple episodes to really get into its rhythm, but it's so easy to watch after that. These 20-minute episodes, and just Sam Witwer does an awesome job with this character. It is really, Darth Maul is one of the most interesting Star Wars characters, and pretty much exclusively because of his animated appearances. You know, it's not the cool action. The lightsaber fight is fun, Phantom Menace, and his look is fun, but it really is all the depth that he gets between Clone Wars and then his outcome in Rebels, and then this middle stuff we're getting with Shadow Lord. That it's really strong stuff.
It
Really watchable. So
it was interesting what they did with his character in Solo.
He really liked that. This is giving a little bit of context to that, a little bit
really?
actually. Yeah, I mean not directly, but you get a sense of where that's. I mean, like we're around the same time, I think, right?
Did they bring in Amelia Clark at all?
No, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be nice. Kiera, I believe her name is, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think with a
Yeah.
Q.
Kira.
Kira.
Yeah, right.
What's going on?
And besides that, I've been listening to the Misery, Stephen King Misery audiobook, which is just, I'll tell you what, I say this a lot with pretty much every Stephen King book. At the beginning, I think he's got excellent first halves, excellent starts to books. Because I always ready to tell someone like, this might be my favorite Stephen King book when I'm like a third of the way in. Because they start so well. I remember telling Jake when I was reading Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel book to The Shining, like, this might be better than The Shining. I don't think the second half lived up. It was like right at the crux of like, man, this is such a strong first half of this book. And then this back half of it's not quite, it's not that good. But I powered through it. But yeah, I mean, he starts a book well. Misery is no exception. I'm really loving it. Yeah.
Nice.
Have you guys all seen the movie Misery?
Yeah.
I think we watched it together, and then for like 3 days after, we just looked at each other and did the "God, I love you."
God, I love you.
It's got Buddy the Elf's dad.
Misery?
Yeah, and it's Sonny.
R.I.P.
Sonny learns about
James.
consequences. It's got the consequences from Godfather guy, Corey.
Consequences of killing off your characters.
Rob Reiner?
Yeah, Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this woke shit.
It's so good.
It is a really good movie. The book is really good so far. And you can just tell it's like, this is the most like Stephen King self-insert character into a Stephen King thing I've encountered so far.
Pretty
I
crazy.
mean, this is clearly like his worst fear. It's like a crazed fan taking him hostage and forcing him to write something. And, there's a scene where pretty early on in the book where she's got his only manuscript of a book that he's just finished writing. And apparently he didn't make any copies of it. And it's the torture that she does to the manuscript of his only copy of a book is just clearly like, oh, this is just like such a writer's worst nightmare for sure. It's really good. It's a really fun read.
She forces him to write it too.
Cole?
What have I been watching? Spire Noir, just like Corey. I love Nicolas Cage's voice choice for that. Apparently his idea was 70% Humphrey Bogart, 30% Bugs Bunny, and I think it shows through.
Amazing.
Just great
awesome.
choices. Great choices.
Nick
But,
Cage.
after I finished The Boys, a show popped up on my Amazon Prime that I decided to start watching. I watched Off Campus.
There you go.
Which-
Let's go.
I actually I really enjoyed it.
Yes.
They announced the leads for season 2.
Yes.
I'm pumped for season 2.
Read the
Watch
books.
Off Campus.
Read the books. Read
Watch
the
Off
books.
Campus. Corey, I know you'd love it. I know you would. Because you watched the summer I turned pretty.
Cole, would you believe me if I've said I've seen it already?
Yes.
To say his reaction told me that he was already all like you didn't have to pitch it to him. Yeah, that was. I was picking up on it.
I thought he was reading the books.
No.
I'm
I'm in the middle of a different book series. Other Corey is reading the books. My alter ego is reading the books.
Well, this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but it's just Corey and Corey.
Yeah,
it's the same name.
It's just I'm not as creative in both of my alter egos have the same name. No, and she's watched it, I believe, 4 times now, all the way through. So she's very much into it.
And she's watched War of the Worlds how many times?
She has watched the Tom Cruise one all the way through. She did not like the 1953 one, and she watched a bit of the Ice Cube one until I turned it off, and I was like, I can't watch this. And I was like, I got to finish it. But then she was working the next day, so she didn't finish it with me. But she wasn't too into that one either, so I don't blame her. I was doing it for the pod, and that's it. I told Jake to watch Off Campus. Jake, did you watch it yet?
No, I'm probably going to watch it the second I leave this podcast.
Nice. You got to get on it.
Yeah.
It's like I think the good kind of bad would be a good way to describe it.
It is. There's hot guys in it. Zach, you'd love it.
Oh, that's right up Zach's alley.
There's a great scene of hot, sweaty men working out together. And there's the bonds of brotherhood are on full display. They're hockey players.
I love it.
They're hockey players. They got fun nicknames for each other.
Is this heated rivalry, or is this a different show? This is
different. Straight heated rivalry, but like not the plot of heated rivalry.
Corey and I talked about it. He goes, I had to work up to it. I was a big fan of heated rivalry. They had to talk me into straight heated rivalry. So.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I said, women? Blah. That's what I said.
Get him out.
I think his exact words for a heated rivalry were, I watched the one straight sex scene and I was like, what is this?
I'm pretty sure that was Jake. If I'm being honest.
When I walked when it was on, I was like, that's like 5 minutes out of a 4-hour show. That's what I was
talking to one of you in the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
How many women have you had in the pod?
His mom. And my sister.
That no one's related to.
We don't know women.
Jake, we don't know any women that we're not related to. They don't talk to us.
Corey sent a note to his fiance to propose.
Yeah, I had to send her a letter in the mail.
Yes or no. Yes, no, maybe.
And then I was sitting across the room, just shy, like head down.
My friend likes you.
Hands the rocks.
You get Zach to it.
Yeah, get Zach to ask. Well, Jake, thank you for joining us. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for preparing with us and watching all the War of the Worlds movies and reading the book and listening to the radio adaptation of it all. It was a pleasure. Jake, anytime you want to come on, just let us know.
Thank you. I'll be back when you guys do all of To All the Boys I've Ever Loved Before movies. I'd love to talk about
we gotta do those.
The people want it. The streets are saying. I heard people talking about it outside, so...
Jake,
love to be here. Love you boys.
Looking at the schedule, we have a nice mid-November Avengers Age of Ultron slot with your name on it.
God.
You can slide in real nice there, I think.
It's right after the Friday the 13th reboot.
Ooh, let's get him on for that.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
now that is interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those.
Where are you at in that rewatch? Are you still on your break?
Yeah, I'm
Jake,
still
will you be watching Crystal Lake on Peacock?
Yeah.
It debuts this fall.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Well,
I'm so excited.
Canon.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, everyone, just keep watching movies. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.